This is Out Loud and Laughing.
in partnership with Outright International.
What is up, Chosen fam, and welcome back to the studio. Today, we're sitting down with a literal trailblazer of sport and queer history. Long before the world started seeing rainbow flags at the Olympics, this man was conquering the ice, capturing the hearts of millions, and establishing himself as an absolute ice shredding powerhouse. He is a 5 time U.S. national champion, a world champion, and a 2 time Olympian who is the legendary star behind his autobiographical stage show and hit PBS documentary, Go Figure, the Randy Gardner story. He spent decades performing on the world's biggest stages while quietly navigating a deeply private journey of identity, coming out, and uncovering his own truth. Please welcome the iconic, the spectacular Randy Gardner. Hey, Randy, welcome.
Hey, how are you guys? Good, good. Thanks for having me. It's going to be fun.
Yes, Randy, thank you so much for being here with us. We are stoked to chat. But before we jump into the medals and the history, we want to give our chosen fam a chance to get to know the man behind the skates. So, a lot of our listeners are learning your story for the very first time today. Take us back to the early days in Los Angeles. You were paired up with a legendary skating partner, Ty Babylonia, when you were just 10 years old, and she was, I think, 8.
Yes, yeah. Well, LA, yes, that's correct. And I was the overview was I was a competitive figure skater, 2 time Olympian, and pair skating, U.S. national champion with my pair skating partner Ty Babylonia. We won the world championships in 1979. But it started in Los Angeles and Culver City, California, and I went because I was an active boy and I was about 7 years old and I liked to dance and do gymnastics, not great at the other like ball sports or, throwing or team sports. That was not my thing. I was agile though. So my parents put me in dance class and they took me to ice shows, and going to ice shows is what I realized I was fascinated by them. And they took me skating and I went with neighborhood friends after that. And group lessons led to private lessons. And I was kind of on my way. I was scrawny, a little kid, and I wasn't that strong. So I had to sort of grow into myself. But I met Ty when I was 10, she was 8, and we were paired together sort of just like as a fluke to do the local, ice skating club spring recital. And that's how we were put together by our coach, Mabel Fairbanks. And, we didn't think it wasn't supposed to last. It was just for that one little show. And then our coach said, why don't we just try a little more, take more lessons as a pair skating team? And then we started competing locally, still not great because we were both little. And our
Yeah.
competitors were like a little older and bigger and stuff. So we had to grow into each other as a pair team. So that's how it started. And eventually we did. And, you start competing locally. And then if you make it, you go sort of throughout the state or the region and you work your way up. And that's a very, very abridged story of what happens in that. But in that path that one takes to be a young figure skating athlete.
We're going to go down that whole path. I'm so excited. I want to hear how it sort of manifests into this whole PBS documentary stuff. But I have to know, before you even met Ty, at that age of 8, like, what was it like putting on that first pair of skates? Like, what was that experience like? Do you still hold that? Do you still carry that with you?
I remember
You
doing it.
do? Wow.
Yeah, and even in the documentary and the play that I did, I was intrigued by it, and I didn't have any fear, and I say something, and I talk about, we like my dad had like old hockey skates, and just in the garage. I never had seen him skate or knew that knew how to skate, and he kind of didn't. But being a good dad, taking his son to his first ice skating day, um, I went and he laced my skates, he put his on, put me on the ice, and I floated away from my dad. I loved it. And I say it was magic. And so I loved the glide. I was probably stepping at first and stuff, but I think I took off and just kind of probably looked like Bambi or something, but trying to work my way through. But I do remember it. I do remember it, not real vivid, but I remember the feeling of it, the cold of the ice rink and the breeze from skating and the freedom. And
Mm.
that I could control the freedom. I wasn't, I didn't have fear and I didn't have any, and I wasn't nervous about doing it. I was like, this is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe like hand gliders and them or rock climbers feel that, that thing, but that's
Yeah.
what I felt with skating.
We're gonna talk more about skating, but I wanted to ask something because with your PBS documentary, Go Figure, it reveals you actually found out you were adopted later in life, right? Like, I wanna talk about that a little bit because that was so interesting. Like, finding out a monumental truth like that as an adult is kinda wild, Randy. So, like, how did uncovering your birth story change the way you kinda look at your identity, especially after spending so much time in the public eye?
Yeah, I was 40 years old and when I found out. And I kind of felt different. I looked different than a lot of members in my family. And when you get older, you think, it happens. I knew a lot of siblings that didn't look alike, and relatives that were all related by birth and stuff. So I kind of put it aside, but in me, I knew I had to find out or wanted to find out. So I hired. I thought about things that were said to me too, though. When I was younger, that my brother said, my brother was 8 years older, so he knew and he remembers me coming in. But when we were arguing stuff, he would say, "Oh, well, you were adopted anyway." Ha ha! Like kids say that, siblings say that
Hmm.
anyway.
Wow.
But he
Yeah.
was right, and so correct. Yeah, he had that one right. And
That's funny.
I thought about that. And then a family friend, we were at a family dinner. I was in probably my 30s at that point, maybe early 30s. And Frank Ivanovich, who was a great family friend, um, we're at this dinner table at a restaurant. And he said, God, I've known you guys for so long. Randy, you were like this big when they brought you home. I didn't know what that meant. So then I decided I probably, ruminated on that or I let that marinate for a couple of years. And then I took action and I hired a search agent to find out what was going on. Like if she could figure out if I had records somewhere. How do you do that? It was, uh, you know, 23 and Me and that stuff wasn't around then like that,
Yeah.
so efficient. I guess you could find family trees and do all that by mail and all that. But so whatever she did, she found my records in California. And I had to petition them because I was an adult. So I just had to petition them just so I could have them and I could have them and open them. So I did. And, I found out who my mom was, the day she gave me up. And they do like an interview when you're giving up a child and, who was the father. And so it was almost like a recorded transcript or a written transcript of an interview. So I got as much as I could from that. Then the search agent said, do you want to locate your birth mom? And I said, sure.
Hmm.
So she
Wow.
did what she had to do and found her. It was pretty incredible. And then they found her in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And she had done Long Beach, California, which is like another city in LA County. And then she did that, had me there, gave me to a Christian Zionist adoption church organization because my adopted parents were Christian Zionists. So I came through a church, like a adoption agency in a church. And then my birth mom, Dottie, left LA. They went to Texas. They went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, back to Texas, and then back to Coeur d'Alene for work purposes. And in the meantime, after me, she had a son and a daughter, Julie. So, um, found her. Do you want to make contact? I said, sure. And then I wrote her a letter because they were able to give me her address. And, it was amazing. I was 40. She was raped by her boss.
Mm,
And so I
Hmm.
was a product of a rape. She was 16. She turned 17 when she had me. So her boss had raped her in 1957. So
wow.
you didn't talk about that a lot then,
Wow. No.
Um,
Or now
so,
for that matter.
yeah, exactly. So I wrote her a letter, and they said be vague because you don't know who knows about you. You don't know really who she is, and you don't know who's going to open the letter, who's going to get it. Even though I did like a certified something something, you
Sure.
know. So boy, I was lucky. Her husband Ted Baca, who's still with us. My birth mom is not, but he's still
Sorry.
with us.
Yeah.
And oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And he got the letter, received it, signed off on it, opened it, and called her. She was a clerk at Albertsons grocery store in Coeur d'Alene. That's what she did. And he goes, and he knew about me. She didn't say much about me, but he knew there was a son from a previous
Wow.
person.
Mhm.
He knew. So he called her at work and said, your son's trying to contact you. I just got a letter.
Wow.
And she went screaming through the store. Oh my God, I gotta go. I gotta go. My son I gave up, 40 years ago is trying to get me. And so she read the letter and then she wrote me back. So when our communication in her letter, she told me, uh, I spoke to her on the phone shortly after that. But in the first letter, she told me that I had siblings and where she was, and that she had to give me up because she couldn't. She was only 17, and you know, and I had told her I was, get this, a performing athlete. Now, what is that? It's sort of like, I don't know if that's, I tried to say as a professional skater, I didn't want to say that because I didn't want her to figure out who I was. And I told her my thing was I was born Lawrence Randolph Albright because Albright was her maiden name. And she knew immediately that it was me because that was my name as she knew it. So, yeah. So, then we talked on the phone, and then she gave me all the real deal about the rape and more of the story and how that happened.
Well, I have to really quickly say, Randy, that the fact that your her husband knew of you almost feels as if she had talked about this before with other people who were very close that she felt very safe with. And to have the opportunity in her lifetime to meet you, I mean, that is absolutely extraordinary.
Well, she's told her husband, but she didn't tell him too much. And her kids, Jeff and Julie, didn't know about me
Hmm.
until this. And then she told them what the circumstances and all that. But she told me on the phone, she goes, I watched you skate. I was a fan.
Oh my God.
She didn't
Wow.
know that she was watching her son
Wow.
all those years on ABC Wild World of Sports and everything.
That's
She didn't
crazy.
know. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And
Well, Randy,
yeah, that just made it all sort of like, wow, this is worth it, you
Such
know?
a good story.
you should turn that
Yeah.
into it. You should turn that into a PBS documentary and call it Go Figure.
I think go figure. Go figure. I know. That's a good idea.
That's amazing. Wait, hold on. So I have to say that we are so glad you are here because we could not hear on the podcast because we could have never gotten this full story. We had the privilege of meeting you recently at the Outright International Celebration of Courage. And we were so moved by the energy in that room, especially yours. Outright's theme this year is Everyone Everywhere, which it sounds like you have a really strong connection to given your experience on this earth. Um, and that whole sentiment is so beautiful. But the reality right now is heavy. They were sharing with us that this year they lost $125 million in global financial support in LGBTIQ movements. And of course, Outright is this amazing frontline organization, and they are also at risk of losing support. As someone like yourself who has watched this whole world shift over the decades, can you please share with us what courage looks like to you and how we present ourselves to the world right now?
Hmm. Yeah, I think courage comes in different formats and in different presentations by different people. Being courageous, I was in the closet for a long time. So I didn't feel I was that courageous, but there were circumstances in the era in the 70s and 80s. You didn't do it. We had the AIDS crisis. It was a death sentence, all that kind of stuff. It had, a lot of stigma attached to it. So I wasn't that courageous then. A lot of people were, and especially the people, men and women, that had to come out, that were outed or had to come out because of the AIDS epidemic. I mean, think about that. You're sick. You probably are going to not make it. And the end, your family leaves you on the street. Some young men literally because you're gay and you're going to die. So wow, those are courageous people.
Yeah.
And the ones that have to fight in the fear and sort of how they got through all that, and we had to witness that. And I think we learned from that. So then I think the courageous people are the ones that, like, I'm not a big proponent of making people come out. I think it's really someone's own schedule, and
100%.
and when they come out, they're courageous because they did it when they could do it, and when they had the strength to do it and the resources, the emotional resources to do it. So but the AIDS crisis, I think, made people feel more comfortable coming out because it was life or death. And I think we had to come out for our comrades. And
Yeah.
I didn't come out then, but I came out shortly after, maybe 10 years later. But we lost so many people, and the AIDS monument here in LA is real special because finally they got it up, and it took a long time because it was going to be very detailed, and it shows not only people that passed away from it, but people that helped, spoke up, people that gave money, the nurses and doctors, and the attorneys that protected people, and the politicians. It's all about that's what the AIDS monument is about, and I think they're heroes as well as having courage or being courageous. So I think courage to me is paying it forward, doing
Mhm.
things like outright. I think outright is they're so courageous because they go after they're like HRC, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
And and they're going worldwide, and they're going to these places where they throw people off, put hoods over them and throw them off a cliff.
Mm,
I mean, that's courageous work.
yeah.
And they're global. That's what I like about them. So
Yeah.
I think, and they gave it to Cindy. The honoree was Cindy Lauper. She's been very outspoken. I believe she has LGBTQ in her family, and generations under her, like nieces and nephews or what have you. So that's courageous. I think anybody who supports it is courageous.
I think that's such a great answer, but Randy, I also wanna talk because I feel like you didn't give yourself enough credit because you were so courageous, right? You were such a dominant figure skater in the 1970s and 80s, and to your point, it was an era where you were kinda discouraged to be your authentic self. It also could ruin your career, sponsorships,
Mhm.
livelihood, your safety. So, like, that was also courageous to make that decision. And so you had to remain closeted for a long time during the peak of your success. But and also, and John and I have done our research. The amount of times you get that question, "Are you romantically involved?"
Yeah.
So,
Good.
like, I guess my
Yeah.
question though is kind of dovetailing on what you just said is what was the mental toll of kind of being 2 different Randys, right? Like, you had to be a
Mhm.
flawless,
Mhm.
celebrated athlete, but also to your point, your loved ones off the ice, like, you were losing people and people were dying,
Mhm.
and so, like, how did you do that? Because I'm interested in that, like, that's heavy.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. I
Fair, fair.
only
Duly
because
noted.
yeah, and I had Ty calls it, yeah, oh, it's the Randy window going up. I put the window
Mm,
down, you can see through it, but you can't. I turned the sound off. You
Mm,
know, I was as an athlete, I was able to block things out, which was beneficial. Things around me, injury, being uncomfortable, whatever that was, and focus on the skating and the training and the task at hand. And so, and Ty could do it too. We're not successful athletes aren't normal people. Um, we're not exactly the most emotionally stable group. We're tough and we're focused and we get through a lot of things, which people admire athletes for. It's something people go to psychologists for to get that, you know, but we lack sometimes the other part of it. So, yeah, so I was so it was easy for me to not I saw an interview the other day of us a little while ago. Ty sent me, or someone sent me, and it was in San Diego Ice Capades, 1982 or 81. We were just a year at a turning pro. We were doing those tours and things, and that's when people were asking, "Are we Ty and I romantically involved?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people, and cool. I didn't love like sort of playing with that, but you know, oh, that's so great. Play it up because people love that, like the old movie stars and like, the Rock Hudson's putting them with people, and marrying them off and all that. So it wasn't to that extreme, but it was sort of in that idea. So but I said in one interview, people ask you a lot about you and Ty. And I said, I'm surprised hasn't come. It was at a press conference. And I said, no one's asked that today yet. I'm surprised. And the interviewer said, "Well, do you want to talk about it?" I said, "Still not talking."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that thing, that still not talking thing. I could say that easily and I can sort of live behind it. Yeah. So
It
that's
was easy. Yeah.
kind of that's how I did it. That's why I say I don't recommend it, because later on you need that you need those tools and you
Yeah.
need those skills. But and I have acquired them more efficiently. I'm not perfect, and you work on stuff every day. Um, so I did that kind of help answer your question? I know I went off on a little
That
thing.
was
Does that make sense?
beautiful.
No, like
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah. I mean, it was tough. You had to juggle a couple of different things, personal happiness and a career that was in the spotlight. Like that there's no playbook for that, especially in the '70s and '80s, Randy. So I think that completely
yeah,
answered it,
yeah.
you know?
Well, and even then, you know, uh, we were still going to. I was in LA, so I was lucky because I could do New York and LA and stuff and feel comfortable because there were bars and places to go and all that. But there was still a stigma about the gay community, and especially AIDS didn't help at all.
Mm,
So and a lot of religious stuff was strong then, and there was no same sex marriage allowed, and it was oh my God, two people of the same sex are living together, renting an apartment. It was a big deal.
Roommates.
Right. Roommates. Yeah. Hi, mom. Meet my roommate.
yeah, we share a bed.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Yeah, but you only have one bedroom and one bed. Yeah, well,
Cheaper,
Gay math.
gay math.
oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Well, Randy, we could honestly listen to you all day, but as you know on this podcast, we have a sacred tradition before we let our guests go. We like to shift gears a little bit, turn up the heat, and get a little personal. So, since you are the master of the ice, we tailor this game specifically for you. It's called This or That, the Ice Cold Edition.
It's time for another round of this or that, the unhinged get to know you game.
So, no
Right.
overthinking, just give us your very best vibe. Are you ready?
Ice cold decision. Is that what you said? What?
Edition.
That's called addition. Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. Would you prefer perfecting a triple twist or a flawless throw axle?
Wow. Uh, uh, Perfecting a flawless throw axle, either a double or a triple in
Oh,
rotation.
he's making an advanced super world champion style. Okay. I can barely skate forwards, Randy. Um, do you have a reason why? I have to know because, like, not all, you only ever hear the commentators, you never hear from the athletes. So, what is that? What really quickly, like, just intent, like, just quickly, what is that like? Throwing yourself on the ice like that? I have to know.
Oh, like, well, I throw ties, so she's the one that has to do the work after I do
But you
it.
do, were you not a jumper? Did you not
Oh,
do any jumps
yeah,
like
we
that?
jump, yeah, we jump, yeah, 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 yeah. So, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
liked it. Yeah, you rotate. It's
yeah.
kind of fun, once you get used.
It's
Again, that's something when you're a coach and stuff, you teach kids. When you see kids, you see the ones that are fearless. They're the ones that are going to
Yeah.
become like Ilya Malenin. You can
love it.
tell, and the ones that are scared and that, oh, I hurt my knee. Yeah,
Mm,
get out there. Um,
That's
you know, um, uh, so yeah, but what that throw double, triple axel I was talking about, we had a really pretty one, and Ty did it real pretty because her
yeah.
body was good in the air and she landed really good. And so I would take that over a triple twist because we were more similar in height than the tall boy, short girl pair team. So, and they do them so beautifully, and they tip the girl. It's like, and we were like, gee, gee, gee. She was hitting me with her skates and everything because I wasn't big enough, and she wasn't small enough, meaning in size. I couldn't get that lift, so we had to do like just live with a double. So, but
Mhm.
I would rather just see a nice, pretty throw than the twist.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. And thank you so much. I needed that. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
good,
Okay.
good, good.
Old Hollywood glamour or modern high fashion?
Hollywood glamour.
Ooh,
Mm,
okay.
the classics.
Yeah, the classics. I love the Humphrey Bogart stuff. Those 40s.
Yeah,
Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, that look, that's sort of in that vein.
I love it. Okay, scruff or no scruff?
No scruff.
Not a hair
Nice.
guy.
Smoothie Twinkie man.
Well, see, I've tried to do the one like you guys have, well, like we have here, and I try and I get itchy. Yeah, I mean, I could do that, like at the like at quick too. Like you have a thick beard. It looks like.
I do. I have a
Yeah,
full, but you and
I got
Brian might
nothing.
suffer from the same. Yeah.
yeah. Is that like I could do that like in 2 days? In 3 days.
This happens in 2 minutes. I was cleanly shaved before I
Like
jumped
like
on the
this
call.
morning. Did you say it this morning?
Yes. Right before this call. Right.
Yeah. And so, and when I try it, I don't care. I'm a little bit gray down here and stuff now, but I don't mind that. But after about day three, I don't like that. I have grown a mustache just because I thought I was going to be cool and all that, but it didn't it was almost like that porn stash in the 70s,
Yeah. What?
80s.
Yeah. Well, who's that illustrator who did all the really famous bears and S&M? That's what I'm
Oh,
envisioning. You
is
know
it
what I'm
like a
talking?
Scandinavian name or something?
Yeah. Whoever
Yeah,
remembers
yeah,
it.
yeah. Gary
But
or
Randy, I have
anyway.
a question, Randy, because when it comes to
Yeah.
being like a figure skater, especially at your caliber, don't you kinda have to be hairless?
Ooh, that's a good one, Brian.
Mm, Why? For the look, you mean? For the
No, I just thought because of like
Aerodynamics.
yeah, if you're like jumping around and stuff, wouldn't hair get in the way? No?
You mean like long hair and like a beard, that kind of stuff? Or
I don't
Maybe we're confusing swimming and
no,
aerodynamics.
I just 'cause I'm thinking like jumping in the air and stuff and catching and doing all that and holding your
um,
partner, like
I,
hair
I
gets in
will
the
tell.
way, I would think.
Well, I would tell you, hair on the head, like girls, it's best if they're in a bun, and guys,
Yeah,
but
okay.
Millennium, like some have like this, they let it grow out. Uh, Otherwise, it doesn't matter like hair on your chest or hair on your
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Like, hey, but it just bothered. Personally, it just bothered
Right.
me.
Okay. So I could
I
be a
love it.
figure skater. Very good. Good to know. Okay, Randy. You've got your smoothie Twinkie boy. Are you into a butts or are you into chests? Are you a butt guy or
But
are you a chest guy? Yeah,
but
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 yeah,
because I grew up with skater butts around me. Hello,
fair.
this tracks.
that's all I look at.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so then after a long skating sesh, do you prefer a shower or a bath?
Shower.
Okay.
Never a bath. Some people don't like baths. We're
Oh
learning.
no, I like a bath, but it was always easier. And I do a bath. Like to me, a bath is like a treat because
Yes.
we have little jets and stuff and all that. It's a treat to me. Like it's like a spa. It's like a spa day for me.
Ah,
And I kind of call that like Sunday. I'll do like a bath and with the loafa thing and take a little hose and like the commercial, hold it over.
just living.
It's like an herbal essence commercial in your bathtub. I love it. Okay, Randy, we are going to go out for a quick game of baseball. I usually play shortstop, but we have an opening for a pitcher or we have one for a catcher. Where are you going to go? It's just baseball, Randy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hated
Okay.
baseball. Oh my god, I was so. Oh my god, I was so bad at.
Oh, that's so funny.
Catcher.
You could be in the stand. Okay. All right. Very good. I like it. You
Spectator.
like butts? Spectator. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I would
That's it.
probably catcher would be easier.
Yeah,
Yeah. Agreed.
I
I'm
agree.
tired. I'm tired often.
100%. Okay, Randy, last one, and this one's important. Do you wanna be remembered for your incredible medals that you've won or your massive heart?
A massive heart.
Mm,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah, because yeah, because in the end, it's your heart and your relationship and stuff, how you relate to people and kind of what you've done. I think heart, your heart is what drives you, and your heart is what people remember. I think,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I don't think you need to think.
I
I think
think
you
I
just go.
think you have to show your heart after you get those medals, though. After your
Yeah,
success, you got to show
The
that heart.
humility, the
Mhm.
humility. Yeah.
Yeah.
so good. Randy, you are an absolute beacon of strength, history, and pure class, to be honest.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so incredibly generous with your story, your
Mhm.
vulnerability. I'm so bad with that word.
Yeah.
Um, and your time with us today.
You're
Chosen
welcome.
fa Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Chosen fam, this was literally just the tip of the iceberg. You need to go watch, go figure, the Randy Gardner story on PBS immediately.
It's
Okay,
also on
Randy.
Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon.
that's
Good. Even
amazing to
easier.
know. Yeah. So everyone go to Amazon. Randy, where else can our listeners find you online and follow your
Well,
journey as a
I'm on
freelancer?
Facebook. There's a couple of Randy Gardners, but it's Randy Gardner on Facebook. The film has a Instagram, go figure
Mm,
documentary. And that's kind of it. I'm on Substack, but I gotta, God, everybody's so good on there. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, gee, maybe I'll show you my daisies. Do anybody have any hints? Like stuff like that, I'm trying
Right.
to get that. I'm trying to get in there because, God, you got Katie Couric and Kissing Her and all the stuff on there, like just knocking
Yeah.
it out. And I
Yeah.
love so eventually I'll get up to speed on Substack. So I'm there though.
I
Find
love
you.
it. Well, everyone go follow, watch the documentary, and thank you everyone for listening, Chosen fam. Remember to stay loud, stay laughing, and live your true, unapologetically self. We love you. We mean it. Goodbye.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.
And now stick around to watch the highlight reel from Outright International's 2026 Celebration of Courage Awards Gala.
I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. We need to.
It is a precarious time right now for LGBTQIA plus people all over the globe, but we can get through this with each other. And just thank you outright for just being there.